So the next Forza Edition car I want to take a look at is the F-150 Lariat, guys. Now, to be honest, I have not even looked at this truck at all yet, so I figured, you know what? What in the world is that, bro? What in the world even is that? Wait, is that like a battery thing? I am super confused. Either way, though, this wide body F-150, man, I love the fitment on this thing. Look at the front design on that, bro. And I just realized there's no vents on the front of this truck. Wait a minute. There's nothing. Okay, I gotta check something because... What? Wait. You know what? I do love the fitment on this thing, so that alone would probably make me drive it. But let me back out here and go to upgrades and tuning as I'm curious. Okay, so this thing is an EV. All right, then. I was kind of wondering about that. You know what? Just put, does lower my handling. But you know what? Let's just make it even faster. What could go wrong? Let's just make it R-Class, bro. Screw it. Let's just do it. Rally springs. Imagine making this thing a rally truck. But you know what? Let's just leave it at R. And I'll leave it. And you know, I'm going to put the slicks back on it here quick. I might as well. Kind of need any type of thing I can do there. Let's save that to it. So nothing too insane, guys. You saw exactly what I just did to it. I'm not even going to tune this thing. I'm just going to drive it. Let's just go drive it. I want to see how this truck is because I did not know this thing was an EV. I'm kind of wondering about that. I wonder if that will push players away from this truck with it being an EV. As I do admit, it looks pretty dang cool. I mean, it does. And let me go to this screen so you guys see what this thing actually looks like. So it's all-wheel drive. Obviously, 1010 there. Speed, I can actually go and tune the car to make the gearing a little bit better. It does 147. Bro. What? 198. That's a little bit better. So final drive's better. Let's do that. Kind of an EV thing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's go. Let's go drive it. So, yeah, this thing's an EV. I did not even realize that. Do you guys even like EVs? Like, serious question. What do y'all think about EVs legit? I'm super curious. I've seen so many mixed opinions on EVs. I'm wondering what you guys think. Like, what does everyone think about them? For real. Because I do love the look of this truck, but I kind of wish it might have been engine swapped instead of being an EV. But let's, can I actually do... Oh, it's doing the power thing down there. All right, there's the launch. I mean, kind of what I expected. You know, it actually gets up to speed pretty quick. I'm not going to lie there. It is, okay, I mean, it's pretty quick. It does 180 there. I mean, it does 190 miles an hour. It's probably what you would expect from an EV. Interior is, I mean, pretty nice. Kind of like the interior. That screen there is kind of funky looking, but I mean, I kind of like it. Oh, drift cars. That makes more sense as it's a drift car, guys. And you know what? I would probably say this thing being a drift car, I can honestly see that. I could see this thing being a really good drift truck. You know what I'm going to do? Let me go back and to the house. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go change it to a drift truck. I'm just going to put drift suspension, drift tires on it. And then I could probably see what it could do. Because to be real, if you're just racing it as is like this, I don't know if people are going to really use it like that. And people might look at it and go, oh, look, an F-150. Then they find out this thing is an EV. I actually saw a couple of posts on Facebook of people saying something similar where they got this truck, they were super excited, then they found out you can only EV swap it, or it is an EV, they're like, oh, I kind of just ruined it. So let me go into custom upgrade here quick. Drift suspension, I believe is right there, I'll put that on it, and then tires, let's do, where are the drift tires at? Drag, off-road, snow, drift compound. Let me go over, this road's looking kind of nice for drifting. Let's go to this road and just see what this truck can do. Because I kind of think having this thing being an EV, I'm kind of surprised about that. I didn't even notice when I bought it. I kind of bought it and went, oh, cool, I wanted this truck. And then I went, wait, that's an EV, bro. And then I went, oh, that's why people were talking about this thing so much. All right, so it is drift now. I mean... It feels super stable, though. I am running TC, but my goodness, this thing feels very stable. You know what's funny? Is with this thing being an EV, hear me out, I might get attacked for this one. This thing might actually be a really good drift truck, low-key, because of this. Like, it might actually be really good for at least doing, like, little drift zones or different things with it. It might be really solid for that, I think. I mean, you could probably whip it around everywhere. And what I'm going to do, let me turn off my TC real quick and see if that makes it spin maybe a little bit easier. Let me just check that real quick. Oh, yeah. Okay, it does spin a lot easier. There's no shifting on it. You kind of just, like, let it glide through the corners. You have to brake and all that, guys. But I got to admit, I'm probably going to get made fun of on that, but this thing's a pretty solid drift truck, I bet. I mean, it is obviously a drift car, so that's probably why. But with the right setup, you guys saw what I put on it. I didn't do much of anything. It can drift, dude. I mean, it slides everywhere. I'll even do a drift zone with it in a second and see if it can do that. Man, look at the snow. I love this season so much. I know it's going to be gone and it'll come back, but man, it is just so pretty looking. Oh, look at that! How stable this thing is. Okay, you know what? But without let me go over to a drift zone. Probably preferably on the road would be a good one. Let me see if there's a longer one I could do to really test it to see if it could, hit some of the goals that people might look for. Let me see. What is that one? That one's a little bit longer, 107. Kind of wanted a longer one than that. And this one is just a couple of turns there. Obviously, we have the big drift zone there. I could probably see what this thing could do around that. Should we do it? Oh, let's do it. Let's do the long one. All right, so let's turn around here and let me try this again. Okay, this thing is squirreling. It's squirreling. It's crazy, guys. I feel like people have more issues with this drift zone than any of the other ones in the game. I think this one might be the biggest issue. And the funny part is, I said it before, I could see this truck being very good. And I think one of the reasons for that is just simply down to have the power that it has with the battery. And you could probably make it a little bit less, because you're not going to be doing 180 miles an hour in a drift car. Y'all know what I'm saying? Oh, look at that angle, bro. That was actually kind of wild. And it's still going. Oh, man. Okay. I'm kind of digging the way this thing feels in drifting, bro. I was kind of hating this truck at first with it being an EV when I was driving it, but I think this is where it belongs. Like, truly. Look at that angle, bro. Okay, this is kind of crazy. This thing might actually low-key be very good, and people might just be sleeping on it a little bit. Maybe that's what it is. Or, I understand people not liking drift cars, or I should say EVs, but you know what? For a drift vehicle, dude, this thing is freaking good. Like, I'm actually genuinely surprised. You guys probably saw the video on the Mustang. I was impressed with that, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say this real quick. I think this thing is actually a little bit more fun to drive than that Mustang is. And I can't believe I just said that, but I did. I legit did. This is insane. All right, I'm on the last few turns here, so obviously I'm not doing that great with it. I'll probably still hit around 300, but I mean, it's doing way better than I thought it would, low-key. Like, I actually hit 300 on that. No way, bro. Whoa. Yo, guys, look at... I just got 342 with this thing, bro. And that wasn't even that great. All right, guys. You know what? You know what? I have changed my mind on the F-150. All right? You guys heard it here from Blocked. If you guys are hating on this truck, build it into a drift truck. Trust me when I tell you, you will not regret it. The F-150 Lariat Forza Edition in drifting, bro, it is honestly very good. And to be real, I love it. I actually really like this truck a lot. And I might even use this for my go-to drifting, because even it is obviously an S2, but the stability that it has is mind-blowing. I could not believe that. I beat that first try with this truck with no issues. And I probably could have did even better. I bet you I could beat my old record. 342, I know this drift zone is hard for a lot of players. And if you guys are having issues, I'm just going to use my share code. If you guys don't want to try to build the truck up, just try my share code. Head over to the drift zones and just try this thing. Because if you have it, it is clearly made to drift. And I honestly think this might be my go-to drift car. I cannot believe I actually said that. But no, it is. This might low-key be my go-to drift car. I'm probably going to use this over the Mustang or some of the other cars that I really like, because this thing legit is that good, man. I can't believe it. I bet you could do every drift zone in this truck with no issues. No TC on with it being all-wheel drive. It is super stable in every way. I'm mind blown, guys, truly. But let me know what y'all think about the F-150. And yes, okay, yes, the F-150 Lariat is an EV, but you know what? For drifting, this thing is an absolute monster.